Hello, welcome to this webinar hosted by Azira. We are very happy to spend some time with you today to discuss location-based data and why it is such a powerful tool for retailers. Before we get started, we just would like to mention that you have a question box available and you can send your questions throughout the webinar. We will answer them at the end of the session. If you also have troubles hearing us, just drop us a question in the question box so that we can know you have any difficulty today. I am Julie. I am Senior Growth Manager, and I will be leading this webinar with my colleague Lola, if you want to say a few words.
Yes, thank you, Julie. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today talking about geolocation data and how we can help business to drive footfall into their store thanks to unique data. My name is Lola Mier-Bourgogne. I am driving a business here at Azira, France, and we will get started shortly. So just a few words to introduce who Azira is and what we do. So we are a global company operating in EMEA, APAC, and America. We are based in France and expanding in the UK and European markets. Our expertise in geolocation data that we leverage to run awareness and performance marketing campaign is unique. With 50 million profiles in the UK, we provide custom targeting with a strong focus on local visibility to help brick and mortar and franchises to make more business.
So to start this webinar, we will focus on what location-based data is, how we collect it, how we leverage it, and how we can really make it a very powerful tool for retailers. So location-based data is the geographic location of a device that is collected with user consent at the device level using mobile advertising ID, meaning that we track device, but not people at the personal level. The way we collect data at Azira and that we treat it is that first we collect our own data, and then we capitalize on data over time to make it more reliable and more actionable. The data we collect is aggregated over 3 months, anonymized and cleaned by our algorithm, which then enables us to define with a high reliability living zones like home or work for each device, and then to provide effective segmentation and targeting. So here are a few examples of how you can really leverage location-based data. The first example is to do geo-targeting, and this is one of a core activity at Azira. It means that based on the data that we have collected and segmented, we can deliver ads to users based on their location. It's the opportunity then to target for retailers, users living within a certain radius of their stores and to be more likely to attract nearby customers. The second way to use location-based data is to do geofencing. So geofencing also targets users based on their location, but it's using real-time localization, meaning that you could use this methodology to target people attending a concert if you wanted them to attract to your store before or after the concert, for example. And then the third way to capitalize on location-based data is by creating audiences based on interests, creating affinity profiles based on visits to specific location. For example, it would be the opportunity to target frequent travelers by targeting people who regularly visit train station or airports, for example. We have put together a few use cases to really illustrate how you can leverage these location-based data. So the first use case is, let's say you're a sports brand and you want to target sports enthusiasts. By using location-based data, you can really target them specifically and then encourage them to visit your website or stores. It could be targeting people who frequently visit gyms, or targeting users who visit sports stores, and why not, your competitors' stores. But it could also be focusing on people who consume sports-related content online. And it's really the combination of all of this information that will enable you to target people who have already shown an interest in sports and who are more likely to visit your store and convert.
The second use case that we wanted to develop today is our ability to target grocery shoppers. The use of historical data here is critical because we want to target consumers who behave in the store area and not the ones who are just passing by. At Azira, we create custom audiences and we can ensure that we only target devices that are frequently located in the store area, indicating that the owner is likely to work or live in the neighborhood. This approach requires a high level of data processing expertise, as we need to aggregate hundreds of thousands of user-level data points to create a consumer profile.
And the third use case is the one of a DIY brand that may want to attract new customers. So once again, the combination of location-based data and behavioral data will enable them to really target the pre-qualified audience and to target them via omnichannel campaigns. So the first strategy that you could use would be to target people living within the catchment area of your store, having a volume strategy. But then you could really narrow down this audience by targeting people who potentially recently moved to the area and who might need DIY materials to settle down. And then it could be adding an extra layer and targeting people who are already shopping at DIY store, like for example, competitor stores, but also in related stores like furniture store or decoration store. And once again, all these criteria will really help you target a pre-qualified audience and maximize the ROI of your campaigns.
Geolocation data is the core of our expertise, and we just want to take a few minutes to discuss how we can use this kind of data to run effective digital marketing campaigns and to focus on your store performance. So the first item on the checklist when we want to run a campaign together will be to define the objectives that the campaign needs to achieve. At Azira, our solutions address the entire marketing funnel, from awareness to performance-based action. If you want to make your points of sale visible locally and ensure that you reach a consistent number of people around each one, Azira can set up a campaign based on a rich target. With 50 million unique profiles in the UK, we can guarantee that the most relevant profiles will see your ad. If you have performance targets and want to be able to measure the return on investment of your campaign, Azira can manage the campaign with a traffic target, whether online or offline. Measurement is a pillar of our offer, and we can track the number of visitors who come to your store after seeing the ad. The number of incremental visitors, in particular, will show that Azira has performed and helped you acquire new customers.
So once you have defined your objectives, then you will move to defining your audience. And to do so, you can use different criteria. The first one is the geographic criteria. So we've seen before, you can decide to target a country, a region, a city, or even a specific part within the city, like a catchment area. Just keep in mind that the more you narrow down the area you want to target, the less volume of people you're going to reach. So it's always a good balance to find between the area to target and the needs in terms of volume, depending on your criteria and your objectives, sorry. The second criteria would be a behavioral criteria. So whether it's targeting people who are visiting a specific type of websites, like shopping websites or sports websites, and have shown an interest in this, or targeting people who visit specific locations like airports or bars or concert halls, or even people who visit competitor stores. And then the third layer that you would add into building that audience is the social demographic criteria. You could want to only target families or youth parents or retired people. And all of this will help you really build a strong audience to make sure that you address the right people for your campaign.
It is every marketer's dream to be able to target the right person at the right time, the right place, and our goal is to help you. The key challenge is to identify and effectively target the most relevant consumers for retail brands, as each retail location has its own unique characteristics. For the same travel time, for example, the driving distance will be very different if you are in central London, in Sheffield, or in Bath. Azira's unique data and technology will help you understand your consumers' behavior by analyzing their movements and journeys on a large scale. After calculating this data, our algorithm will determine the most appropriate determine the most appropriate coverage area for each location. They will all be unique, depending on a large number of criteria. This can be the competitive environment, the location, whether it is in an urban or more rural area. But every campaign we run will feed our algorithm to make sure that we learn continuously and keep getting better performances. Besides, our communication areas evolve within the year to take into account all population variation that can occur. For instance, a touristic location will need to update its catchment area during the holiday season to attract customers and benefit from these peaks. That is why our catchment areas are dynamic and can vary from one campaign to another. Then, once our algorithm have identified the right broadcasting areas, so this dynamic catchment area, and audiences to target, we want to make sure that we can reach them regardless of their online behavior. Some people spend some time on sports apps, others on news websites, and not to mention our social media users community. Azira's approach is user-centric, meaning that once we have identified a profile to target, they will see the ad alongside their digital journey. Our in-house DSP runs campaigns across several channels like mobile, desktop, display, and social media. Running a campaign across multiple environments allows you to target more people and to get better engagement. Besides, each platform has its own creative specification, and going multi-channel will enhance the creativity of your campaigns, allowing you to get better performance.
Now, the advertising landscape is very competitive. So as an individual, you probably get targeted dozens of times in just one day yourself. So using creative that really generate customer engagement is key. The goal is to attract customer attention and to really encourage interaction. To do so, we have a few tips that we usually share with the brand ways. The first one is to focus on interactive designs, whether it's swipers, sliders, mini sites, anything that do generate some interaction from the users is beneficial to the performance of the campaign. The second tip is to use product-oriented visuals. So those kind of artworks do enable you to showcase a wide selection of products and really help you promote your specific products and offers. And the third tip is to personalize the visual that you're using based on location-based data. This would enable you to direct profiles to their preferred point of sales and is customized at the user level.
Of course, well-designed creative is key to the success of a campaign. But to maximize results, our media trader team will also optimize the campaign all the way through according to your objectives and KPIs that we have defined together at the beginning of the campaign. Once the campaign is complete, you will have access, obviously, to all media metrics, such as number of people reached, number of impressions delivered, the cost per click, or the click-through rate. But we also offer the ability to track in-store visits using either in-house technology or a third-party partner. We have branded use cases for many brands in the retail industry and will be happy to share some performance benchmarks after the webinar. So our solution is designed to be activated at a national or at a local level. Often, when bricks and mortar brands run marketing campaigns, they cannot control which budget is allocated to each store, especially with traditional marketing materials. At Azira, we believe that each store or marketing team should have the power to make their own decisions. This includes agreeing on a specific budget, local areas, and the KPIs that are required at a local level. By empowering them to make these decisions, they have more control over their business and they are then more open to investing in the campaign. At a local level, drawing a specific broadcast area around each location allows our Azira to identify the right profiles to target and to ensure that each store benefits from the visibility of the campaign. We can provide the volume of people per store, and then we command a specific budget per store. This capability is particularly useful for a franchise network that wants to provide local solutions to stores, but still to control and centralize communication at marketing team level. Working with many franchise networks has led us to develop tools and processes to increase local investment and make it very easy to run a digital campaign with Azira.
One of the other way to really use that campaigns to empower your store is to make them relevant locally. So to do so by using location-based data shared by users, it's possible to identify qualified profile around each store. But at the same time, it's also possible to identify the most relevant store for each profile. This is why using DCO, so dynamic creative optimization, what we do is that we integrate automatically the most relevant store address into the creative and display them to each users. So each user has then the capacity to click on CDAs that will redirect them to a personalized map, showing them the best routes to go to their most relevant store or closest store. Another key thing is really to capitalize on ads to manage campaign at the store level. For example, if you want to run a campaign at the national level or in the whole area, including several point of sale, it's highly likely that you wouldn't know which store gets most budget for this campaign. So targeting a whole area could mean spending budget on zones that are too far from one of your stores. It could also mean targeting a whole region where the budget distribution would be uneven between zones that have a higher population density versus zones that have a lower population density. By adapting a multi-local strategy, you can really monitor the budget that you allocate to each store, and you're also able to provide reporting and insights at the store level, which means that each store really knows how much budget is spent for their campaign and what they get as a return on investment from that campaign, and what's the actual impact of that digital campaign in terms of footfall, but also additional turnover. The personalization of the campaign at the store level goes even further. We've discussed it before. It's possible to integrate the store address using dynamic creative optimization, but you can also go further, and using DCO, you can integrate specific products to your creative, specific promotional offer, and customize them automatically as you're running your campaign. So you manage one global campaign, but then the customization is done at the store level, which really empower the store and give the impression that you're running your local campaign without wasting too much time and with a very fluid process.
If a store decides to allocate a budget to a marketing campaign, it is only natural that it should be able to see the result of its investment. For this reason, Azira has developed a reporting template dedicated to local units that shows a metric for a specific location. It includes a heat map showing where the ads were displayed and the number of people who visited the store after seeing the ad. Our templates are fully customizable, and we can either provide you with a PDF for each store, upload it to your intranet space, or send each party their own specific report. We believe it is important that all levels of an organization are confident in the performance of marketing campaign, and our aim is to help you deliver the right KPI to the right people.
Now, if you really want to understand more specifically how this goes into action, we will be sharing with the replay of that webinar a few use cases in different industries. So with Ford in the automotive industry, we will go into how to drive online and offline traffic with a digital strategy. We have a fashion industry use case with the March brand, with how a retail brand actually used lookalike targeting solution to drive customers to their stores. And we have another use case that we can share with you, which is Maxizo, a pet shop brand use case that shows how a continuous communication week after week has enabled us to support their growth, but also to continuously lower the cost per visit.
We also encourage you to visit our website if you are interested in more use cases. We do have some of them in various industries. And whether you are a retail brand, a QSR, an automotive brand, we do have use cases for your industry showing how our unique data helped our client to drive both online and in-store traffic. So we reached the end of this webinar. We want to thank you for taking this 30 minutes of your time with us to understand a bit more about location data. And I will now switch to Julie to see if we have any questions from the audience. So if there is a point of a matter that you would like to discuss further, now is the right time to ask your question in the question box.
Yeah, so we'll allow 1 more minute for potential questions, a few seconds, hoping that you really enjoyed spending those few minutes with us and that it was insightful. Yeah. Okay. If everything was clear, which I hope was, we will send you an email with the replay of that webinar. And if you have then any question following this discussion or throughout the day or later on, please feel free to book a meeting with us, send us an email, or reach out via LinkedIn. Have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.